Tammy.
Hello, Tammy.
There you go. Grizzly says, if my French Bulldog carries blue and cocoa, what stud would I need to create an Isabella color French Bulldog?
I think you answered that already.
No, it's just 3 hours ago.
Oh, okay.
You want to answer it?
Oh, you can.
Well, you can't get there, folks. Well, not in one go, you can't, not in one jump. So to get an Isabella, you have to have a dog that's blue, which your dog is, but it has to be little b, which is not cocoa. That is what we used to call testable chocolate. Without that, you get a lilac. With that, you get an Isabella, and with both versions of chocolate, you get a new shade. Can you do another video on your studs? Yes, I'm going to do a video on all of our studs. Someone's asking about Rango and Duke. You bet. They said, please help. Do I use 2.5 or 5%? They're talking about the, I can spell it wrong, Totrazil for coccidia prevention. You can use either, but here's the deal. If you use 2.5%, guess what? You need twice as much as 5%. It's just straight math, folks. How can I supply oxygen to the bigger incubator? Can I just crack the lid open and stick the oxygen tube inside with the puppies? Yes, you can, but I've got a better solution. And I've got a little video that shows you how to do this. Just take a scissor and take the sharpie point of the scissor in the side wall away from where the thermostat is, higher up on the floor, stick the scissor in, turn it once, and you'll make a nice little hole, make a 5/16 hole, that's the size of the tubing for an oxygen supply, and you don't have to mess with the lid being open. Checklist. Okay, someone says, do you have all the medicines before the first litter, or do you only give if necessary? Well, I'm not sure exactly what you're asking here, but the answer is, if you can, have all of your medications ahead of time, because when you need them, it'll always be Saturday night when nobody's open, you can't get a vet to write a script. So the answer is, I would get your medications in place before you ever have a litter, and be prepared. And that's along with an incubator.
Always be prepared.
That's right. What do the Boy Scouts say?
Yep.
What's their motto?
I don't know. I've never been a Boy Scout.
Were you a brownie?
No.
What is
I've
that?
eaten brownies.
Stop it. What? So what is it in America? Is it what's a girl? It's Girl Scouts.
Girl Scouts.
And if you're
brownies,
a young
brownies are used to be. I don't know. Maybe that's changed.
What's a pixie?
I have no idea what a pixie is.
That's not part of the
pixie haircut. How about that one?
Okay, you used to have one of those. I've seen a picture of the pixie haircut. Little girl, you were cute.
Yeah.
So back to the checklist. Look, have everything. I mean, what? If you're going to do this right and do much of it, have yourself an oxygen concentrator, have an incubator, have the medicines, have feeding tubes, have goat's milk, have scales, have stethoscopes. Because I promise you, if you do enough of this, you'll need it.
Months be prepared. Like those one people that called, what do we do?
Yeah, right.
And the litter was already on the ground.
The litter
what
was
do we do?
Well, it was even worse than that, Tammy, because they said our last litter wasn't
successful.
We had problems with the last litter, and now they've got a litter.
And they're asking,
and the
what
puppies
do
are
we
already
do?
born. They're asking what to do.
It's like, you need to quit raising puppies. Period.
That would be so cool.
I'm sorry.
Well,
it's
I
true.
mean,
If you lost the whole litter before,
well, I'm not sure
and
they
you're
lost the whole litter.
calling and saying, what do you do on the second litter? It's like, what the heck?
Okay, so I think that the thing here is the important thing about life in general is let's move this over here, is to learn from your mistakes, right? I promise you, whatever you do in life, you're going to make mistakes. What you should try to do is try to avoid the obvious mistakes or the mistakes that you can learn about that other people have made, and then figure out what went wrong so that you can avoid those mistakes next time. Some things aren't avoidable, and they're just bad luck. But in the situation of that particular conversation, that's something that was preventable. You had a problem, analyze the problem, come up with a solution for next time, and be prepared.
Yeah, they were not prepared.
Yeah.
And I
can tell you this, for the things that we invent for our products, some of which are patented, some are not, they were a whole series of mistakes. They were, you hear that, Northwest 10th Street?
Yes.
Yep. So they're a whole series of mistakes, of which each time you realize that your design's not quite right and you need to change it. So typically mistakes are very, very useful as long as you pay attention to them.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. How about that one?
Yep.
That one's nicer than the other one.
Okay, June Bloom says, I took my dog to the vet yesterday on day 62. It told me she wasn't ready. I came home, woke up to at 5, 2 puppies on the ground, 1 alive, 1 dead. I took her to the vet this morning to have the other 3. I'm waiting to see how long it's going to go. Have you ever had this situation? How do you and how did it go? Well, okay, June, you're going to get a lecture too. Sorry, June. So, probably right. Hold on a second. Let's look at the map. Sorry.
Let me see what she says when I go this way.
Okay, I'm sure it's going to be right. Sorry, turn right. Yeah. So. I've got a video, I've got a number of them out there. The last one that did is called How to Stop Losing Puppies, I think it's called. So go review that. It gives you all the steps of all the things that you'd expect to see in a typical dog as it goes through pre-whelp to whelp. So, you know, you're there at day 62. Well, at least you know what day the puppy's supposed to be here, because they should be 61 days after AI, 60 days after a surgical, 63 days from ovulation. But there's a lot of other information the dog's going to let you know as to what's going on. What are those things, Tammy?
I wasn't paying attention. I was still thinking about the other deal.
So here's the things that you're going to see in somewhat the. Golly, almost got hit there.
Yes.
But they were they're doing a video.
Oh, yeah.
But they're doing a video as they're going down the road.
And he was asking his wife, what'd they say?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
Okay.
what's the answer to that question? I have no
Bang!
idea. Yeah.
All right, so here is the, and we're just going to, this is going to be the last video, because this is a narrow road and I'm getting nervous now. Not your fault.
No, the person was coming over the median there.
Yep. Okay, so what are the things that you'd expect
I'm
to
such a good driver.
see? That's debatable.
That's why I'm driving on.
So, all right, let me talk now.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm over talking to you again. Oh.
Well, do you want to handle this conversation?
No, I don't.
So tell me, Tammy, what are
driving.
let's see how good Tammy is on this, because she knows the answer. Give us the step-by-step things that you expect to see in a dog when it's getting ready to have puppies. What are the things that you're going to be doing and the signs it doesn't give you? Well, I'll give you the first one.
First one, she quits eating.
Well, the first one is that you should be in the right range, the right approximate day within a few days of when you expect the dog to have puppies.
You should be taking the temperature a week before.
Okay, so take the temperature.
First due date.
We like to take the temperature every morning.
Yep.
And they get up.
And they go use the bathroom.
Go use the bathroom, and then they come back in, take the temperature.
Take a temperature.
Not with a scanning temperature probe, that's worthless. It's got to be a regular, cheaper Walmart thermometer that is included in a puppy care kit, and you put it up their butt, and you put it up their butt at least that far. Rectum, at least an inch and a half. Right. So, what's the temperature going to be, Tammy? What are you going to see?
You'll probably see probably 100.6.
Regular temperature dog, 100.5. There you go. So you see that beginning,
another one.
A week out. Then what does the temperature do?
I'm sitting here watching another car pass it.
It starts dropping. And what you're looking for is a temperature that drops below 99 is indicative of puppies within 24 hours. So that's your first indication that something's, and it doesn't always get it, but that's your first indication. Next indication is what, Tammy? You said it already.
Quit eating.
Stops eating food. Her appetite gets pretty sparse as you get closer to whelp, because she's full of puppies, especially if she's really full of puppies. But what you're going to see is most dogs will just not eat any food at all the day they're going to have puppies. So what you do is you put a bowl of food out in the morning with just a few morsels in it and see if they're eating any of it. If they're eating none of it, that's a good indication that you're also on this 24-hour stretch.
Sometimes she loses her plug too.
So mucus plug,
week,
you may see a jelly-like substance falling out of her back end. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you any indication of where you are in the whelp. It just tells you that she's probably pregnant and that you're.
About a week
So what that is the cervix has got a little bit of mucusy stuff on it. As the cervix dilates, it drops out. So it's an indication that maybe the dog's dilating, but it's not particularly informative in terms of being able to dictate whelp. Okay, next thing after that. What's the next thing?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. We quit eating if we start nesting.
Yes, start nesting. So I don't mean just a little bit of getting a bed ready. I mean just digging away for maybe 30 seconds solid. So a really good
Trying
way
to make that bedding real nice. Plus, another thing too, when you go let her out to potty, she may be going to the corners of the house, finding an area. So, you know, she may be doing that too.
And don't leave her out there unattended.
No.
When you're
do
this
not.
close, because
Yeah.
some dogs, they'll decide they're going to have a puppy under a bush. We've had this happen to us once,
They
long
wanna
time ago.
Get away somewhere.
Found a dead puppy
Your
under a bush.
destination is on the right.
After we had
It's
to
on
see.
my right? Where's it at? You're not paying attention, James.
Yes, right here somewhere.
She said it was on my right.
Okay, we'll just pull in
didn't
here.
see
We'll
it.
finish this video. We're going to interrupt our visit just so that we can take care of this video for you guys. So, yeah. So the other thing is, there it is, right there. See
Okay.
it over there.
Yes.
Blah, 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 nesting. Put your dog in a crate with some newspaper in the bottom or some magazines, not so she can read
And
them.
a white towel.
Yeah, so that you can.
A cheap white towel that she can just rip up to pieces.
Yeah, so the thing about the newspaper is you can go away, go off to go to the store, come back and see it's all been ripped up. You get an idea about what's been going on. So you've got some visual and audible signs that the dog is in fact nesting, going to labour. So that's a really good tip. The white towel's good because if there's been any kind of a discharge, you can see it. Because you may have missed a water breaking and you can see that on a white towel. Okay, and what's the next thing, Tammy?
Is that?
Panting.
That's an empty store there. Okay. Quit asking me questions. I'm trying to
See where it
find
is.
this place where it's at.
Okay. Turn
It's
around.
not it.
Panting. So panting is that. I don't mean just panting for a couple of seconds. I mean
She
panting.
gets this glazed look in her eye,
Yes.
you know, dazed look.
Yes,
And
panting
just
for-
concentrating.
Panting for, maybe a couple of minutes straight, and that's indicative of. By the way, the nesting normally means puppies within 12 hours. Panting means maybe the beginning stage of labour, and you could expect to see
Yeah,
something
well,
maybe in the next
There's
6 hours or
times that
less.
she'll do that panting too when puppies are moving down.
Yep. And then, if you're unclear about all this, the two things that you can go to the vet for are, number one, this is not me. There it is. You can go to a vet and get a reverse progesterone test done. A level of 3.3 or less is safe to take puppies. Or they can do a digital exam where they basically put a glove on and go put a finger up in a vulva and feel whether she's dilated or not.
Yeah.
So there we go. Nice long ending to.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
But we lived through it. It's always a good thing, right?
Yes.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
See you, everybody.
Bye.